news and more fashion. Yes, we are back, Precious, with fashion and none other than Magitek Mags once again. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello, chat. Hello, Teresa. I am ready to get started in the fashion. I mean, of course, what was it earlier this year? We talked about the balls and everything
Mhm.
of current day fashion, of real, I would say real life fashion, and what things that we could look at in terms of how we could apply it to ourselves. Well, we're gonna talk about something a little bit more, fantasy related. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Yes, yes. I apologize. I apologize. Things have been crazy if you've been following on Twitter and stuff. Some people in chat comments says, "Well, you've been trolled. You have not gotten trolled. We are here. We are here, Precious, and thank you for being here." And so we also have Snortopupus Kuber. And let me see. Snortopupus is telling us some stuff. I didn't hear this. He says the green wedding dress Arwen wore had a sad history. It was wrecked in the scene where Aragorn hugged her.
What?
Huh. Yeah, that's the first I've heard of it. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true, but that sucks. I do know that a lot of these costumes, especially the women's costumes, are delicate as all can be. Like they look gorgeous, but they aren't very practical.
Mm.
He's like, did it get caught in armor or something? And Snortopoopa says his armor had been sprayed with graphite to give it a metallic sheen, and some of it was still in the crevices. It got on the dress, getting an echo or something. Oh,
Is that
are you
me?
still getting it? Is it? Yeah, I'm not hearing it,
I'm
but
not
that
hearing it either.
yeah. So keep us updated if it keeps going. Snortopoopas, tell us because that sucks. Um, I'm just feeling jinxed right now for several reasons. But hey, we got 10 people in here. Thank you for being here. No echo here. All right, Snortopoopas is still getting it. Okay, maybe I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
maybe you
You,
need to restart your browser or something,
Yeah, I was gonna
probably.
say something really mean. Maybe it's you. You're the problem. You're the problem, and you know we love sort of poopas. And it's
I
yeah, he's saying
snorted.
let's re yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Um, I think it was our last one that somebody said something about Lord of the Rings. We started talking about it a little bit, and then we were like, oh, maybe we need to do a fashion on Lord of the Rings. And it's like, well, actually, we should. Yes, absolutely we should. Now, as I was putting this all together, it was a lot of well, obviously the women's fashion. I have Gladriel and Eowyn and Arwen, and that's going to give us plenty for some time. But maybe we could do a sequel with the men's stuff because, of course,
Ooh,
yeah. I
I
mean,
like that.
yeah. When I was looking at the coronation gown with Arwen, it has Aragorn with the picture, with her and wearing his. It's like, oh yeah, and as of course he has all these costumes, and of course Faramir, who we love. Well, I endorse him more than life itself. That he has stuff, and I might get some hate here, but hate away because hate. It's the Lord of the Rings does not have a lot of women in it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people say, no, Lord of the Rings does have women in it. It's like, no, it was guys, okay? Lord of the Rings is a guy book with guys in it because they had to like pull out of their butt so much stuff with Arwen because of course Arwen was barely in it. She was just in one scene where she has dialogue, and that's with Frodo. And frankly, I'm a little miffed that in the movie they actually left out the best of Arwen because there was some cool stuff with her. Like for example, she's the one who makes the banner for Aragorn, and it as the king of Gondor. And when he finally is given it by the siblings of uh what's his name? I forget which sibling. It's gone out of my brain. Some elves come and deliver it, and it's like really epic. And when he unfurls it, it's like it's the king's banner, and it was made by his woman. So there's lots of really cool stuff there. But however, it's just the way it is. The movie wasn't about gathering food. Oh yeah, don't even get me started on that. Well, I don't. I get cranky about ignorance, but I think once that you figure out that the vast majority of things you see at the internet on especially X, now that X is monetized, it is only for rage bait. So I've done videos about this before, and life is where I'll sit around and I'll be all quit arguing with people. They don't want to be argued with. They just want you to respond. So they'll say like the most outrageous things, like maybe about Lord of the Rings or something, and has everyone going, actually this. And it's like, yeah, they're not serious. They're just wanting to get you some engagement and waste
Yep.
your yeah. So don't do it. Oh, there's a video here for it. Okay, thank you, Soul Assassin. But of course, please don't leave yet. Sort of hey, he's fixed his sound. We have Salty traveling. See, at a Chinese buffet with earbuds, listening to two amazing women. Oh, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you,
that.
Salty.
Yeah,
Hey, Wingus Dingus.
yeah, Wingus Dingus, thank you for being here. Yeah, and X isn't as much fun as it used to be. Yeah, monetization ruined it.
Yep, agreed. And it's not only just that I have noticed, and this is a side thing, but something I've noticed that you could picture the spider was a female.
Yeah.
The and one thing I've noticed that even when, like, for instance, I post something, there are always people who reply, and you can tell they weren't paying attention to what you're saying at all. It's like
Yeah.
they need to reply type of situation. So
Yeah, or it's even a bot. So many
Yeah.
people are bots, and that bots are better nowadays. That they really seem like humans, because the whole goal of Twitter is engagement. That's why I quit. Well, I quit for several reasons, because
Mhm.
sometimes, again, people can be very unkind, or just trying to trap you. And when they do
Yep.
it about things that are personal, engagement farming for that, I think that is really a problem. It is a dig out. Yeah. Now, you know who doesn't do this crap? It is everyone in the chat right now, and everyone that will be coming in on the replay. Thank you for being here. We're ready to talk Middle Earth fashion, or rather
Woo!
the movie version. Yeah. Woo. And, see, this is what's so cool. We could even, if we really got ambitious, then do, well, this is how they were dressed in the books. But in any case, let's see. Solacen says, I blindly liked a few times and Mags won't let me forget about it. Oops. Yeah.
It's okay, Soul Assassin. It's
Yeah,
okay. I know
it's
you're
all right.
I know you're a real person behind the name, so it's and we've known each other for a long time, of course. And hi, Adega, I see you.
We respect people and all that. Yeah, but
Mm.
especially with Lord of the Rings,
Mm.
I had a whole joke that if you ever see George R.R. Martin and J.R.R. Tolkien in the same sentence, it's engagement farming, because they usually say something incredibly ignorant, about this made up thing, like George hates him and all that, and it's like, no, that's completely taking out of context. And half the time it's not even things that he said, but they keep repeating it no matter how many times people will send them the link to the interviews and things. And that's how I actually started finding out about engagement farming and rage farming, because it was like every time you do that, the person gets so many responses, and and then I realized that's what they want. They want you to respond with, yay, you're right. B, you're wrong. Or C, oh, let's talk about this. This is interesting. Either way, they've gotten what they wanted. And then I started seeing how, the trad women thing, that they the engagement farming.
That is,
yeah, yeah, like they'll
that's
come
a
out and
whole
they'll
other
say, they'll say something outrageous, like, oh yeah, postpartum depression isn't real, and so all of that stuff. And then you realize how toxic it is.
And not only that, but it's awful because there are people who actually do believe it, and it makes me like, I'm like, I know people say it's not real life. I mean, I know this is like a little side talk here, but it's not real life. But unfortunately, it's starting to become and creep into real life. So
yeah. Well,
but,
unfortunately, but don't let the bastards get you down. That's what I always say. We like people here, and we love everyone here at Miss Smart Muses, but just be aware that as long as that people get money for everything that you say in response to their BS, and of course it's a land of bullies. But what we have, who is not a bully, is Galadriel.
Yay!
Look at this. This is our first person today. Look at how gorgeous she is and how lovely. Now, this I always call this is her Our Lady of Fatima outfit. If you know anything about Our Lady of Fatima, doesn't it? It looks, but of course, and this is the truth because Tolkien, and you can see it in my letters, that Tolkien did say that everything he believed, everything he feels about the Blessed Virgin Mary, he put into Galadriel. So
Mhm.
it's definitely appropriate. And the way he describes her, but of course, obviously, it is not a one-to-one metaphor. But we've got here the long golden hair, and she's got what is called a cowl, a hood, and white one. Now, this is not very detailed, but like I said, it's like, trust me, if she wanted to star in a remake of the Song of Bernadette, she could wear exactly this.
You know what? I agree. I agree with this because it's
Yeah.
perfect. You've got the drape over, or at least I don't know. What would you call something like this? Like a veil, a cape over her head? Maybe more like a veil because it's more delicate looking than
Yeah.
anything.
Um, well, like I said, I feel like it's like a cape with a cowl on top, and I think and then she's got a dress underneath it, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
That's true. That's true. That is part of the entire length of the outfit.
yeah,
Mm.
hooded poncho. Yeah.
Fine.
Well, and very medieval looking. Of course, a lot of
And
the
it's
aesthetics
perfect for the
of the movie.
setting that they
Yeah.
have it set as too. Is
Mhm.
this the I think this is the scene where she's saying goodbye to the fellowship, right? She's sending them
Correct.
off towards,
Yeah.
off towards the of course, towards Mordor together, at
Yeah.
the time, but, in the movie, but, this is actually beautiful, especially after the transition. I know things are obviously not one-to-one adaptation style, but
Mhm.
at least the way they portrayed her in the movie itself, it is
Mhm.
such a I love how this is her in a way, our goodbye to her, and this is what she wears, and it's very pure, she's passed her trial, all this other stuff. She's, very angelic. I mean, obviously, for,
Mhm.
a certain extent, they're supposed to be angelic beings anyway, in a way.
Yeah.
um, but it's like it's such a really good arc in us meeting Galadriel in the beginning to something like this. And this is really, really a beautiful and delicate and simple look
Mhm.
to be quite honest. But
Yeah,
yet it
and
stands out.
yes, and of course, just beautiful and, timeless. Yeah, in the book, of course, we see her a lot more at the end in many partings and everything. She actually shows up at the coronation, and she's with them when they all go off. Um, they accompany actually the
Mm.
fellowship when they head home, and you have that's when Arwen and her father say goodbye and all of that, and Edoras. So there's definitely, yeah, a lot more, but very thematically it's good. And I think we see her in the movie one more time right when she's getting on the boat for going
Right, right,
to,
right, right. And I loved it too when she smiles. She's just,
oh, just gorgeous. Yeah.
it's just
Now,
gorgeous. I
yeah, this
can't.
was a still that was everywhere, and then I saw the movie, the theatrical version. I'm like, "Where the hell is this scene?" And of course, this was cut and restored in the extended version where you're gonna see this outfit, right after she gives the gifts. Yeah, that was the thing that really, I understand why he cut it, but the whole gift giving scene was also cut, and I think that they assumed that, oh, people just know that all these things that they have are things Galadriel gave them, because, and they're not entirely wrong, because everyone who's read the books has actually watching the movie. But I thought it was funny in the theatrical version. If you didn't know any better, you'd be like, why the hell are they all wearing the same clothes? They're all matching now, you know?
Right.
Who it
You
better,
were
Galadriel or Stevie Rex? Yeah, and their little pins and everything.
salty. Look at you.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, and her little headband thing. Now I think I might have a better picture of that. Yeah.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, if you look at
Yes.
the, yeah.
What do you there's a I think is there a specific word for it? Is it, it's not a
Yeah,
T
because
it's not
it's not a
necessarily
tiara. Yeah,
no.
it's a circlet, but it's like a crown thing, but it's not a crown. Yeah,
It's
we
yeah,
are
I think
not fashion majors, and so we're all the technical people out there might be screaming at us. But
oops, guys. But
a
I think you're
circlet, maybe?
right. I think it is I think it's called a circlet. I
Yeah.
think. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'll look it up in the background, but
Yeah, but look at how gorgeous all of that is, and, so she's wearing that in there. I don't know if this is the actual dress that she's wearing because she's covered up or what's going on, but it's definitely gorgeous, and you see all of the intricate, like, elfish kind of designs going on. Everyone's saying cheers and hello, yes, but also look at the detail of this. I mean, first of all, we love the circlet, and it's Magitek Mags is looking that up, but also look at her arm. It's like almost like a lace thing going on that's covering that, and then a blue and gray kind of giving that silvery otherworldly thing going on there
yep.
over it. Definitely flowing, angelic, and the hair of amazing. I mean, the elves have absolutely amazing hair, and I've always said that I wanna know who they go to for their hairstyling, especially things like Legolas, so 'cause their hair never gets tangled up no matter what they're doing, and my hair is only half as long as this, and it's always getting tangled up, but they're just running around, and it's looking perfect, no frayed ends, no
And
problems there.
I love the hairstyles too, especially. It's all
Mhm,
braids or something very
mhm,
medieval or like you said,
yeah.
otherworldly, very ethereal. And guess and it you were correct. It's a circlet. That's
Woo!
technically that's a circlet right there. But it's so that's the thing with that's the thing with even this look. She just looks so she's very feminine, but still very commanding.
Mm,
I think it's just she just was the perfect Galadriel in this instance because she could seriously like you could tell she was a serious character when she walked in. And it's all because of her acting, really, if you
yeah.
think about it. I mean, look at the eyes. It just says it all
Oh,
too.
yeah. Well, and part of it's also the music going,
Oh,
"Oh,"
that's true.
it doesn't
That's
help.
very true.
No, but you're right. Well, and anyone that knows this will know that is why we completely lost our SHWIT or however it's spelled with the not Rings of Time or Rings of Prime, that Galadriel, because we're like, "Oh my gosh, that is not Galadriel." They were like, "Oh, but that's where she would have been." No, that's not how she would have been. And so the fact that they have her like that when this is the way she should be, but that's a whole discussion for another day. But everything you say about her is correct, and she was reading their minds and all that. That was so cool. And what was it? Boromir was like, "Ah," and so
Yep.
it's really really good. And when I'm sure you've read the Silmarillion, where you learn just how truly ancient all of them are, and what they went through with all the stuff with the hunt for the Cimaril, the kinslaying and the Feanor, all those people. It's just like they've seen some crap, and they have definitely that world weariness because if you've been living long enough and seeing, frankly, everything just going to hell, Tolkien called the long defeat of history. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, once again, everything sucks. Once again, this, and that they want to go back to heaven, for lack of a better word, because they're like, we're done. But Galadriel was not allowed to after the whole Cimaril situation because she had disobeyed. So they were here as penitents, and that's why she says, I passed the test and she's now able to go back home, and she takes advantage of that. So it's very good.
Mhm, mhm. It's been a while since I've, read the Silmarillion, but, it's really you really touched on something there. They really that's probably I think where the movies kind of lacked in trying to I don't think they really it was really a bad attempt. It's
Mhm.
probably very hard. I mean, first of all, the books themselves are very long and very Lord of the Rings in general as the book
Mhm.
series, is very long, and if you put every single detail from every page into a movie, you would have to do it into a show, and I don't even think an episodic show would actually do any good because it's
Mm-mm.
just so much there's just so much going on. Um, and it's also so much detail and a lot of it's not just there's so much detail in not just how the characters look and the different type of races look and everything else. It's also just like you said, it's hard to describe the feeling that long feeling, I am just done. I am
Mhm.
ready to move on to heaven kind of feeling, and having seen so much has gone to hell in a
Mhm.
handbasket, it can be very draining too. So I'm sure they try to convey it as best as they could,
Mhm.
with that feeling, but that's something that's very hard to even talk about or exposition enough to be able to put that point across. So,
Yeah. But
um,
as you said earlier, the few minutes we see her, the acting is so well done and so well cast that you do get to see that world weariness in her scene with Frodo and how much she relates to Frodo, because Frodo's starting to get that look, and he
yep.
hasn't even been around that long. It's
And not
like
only that, but she does such a good job too of really showing as if they have, they don't really talk about ages, so to speak.
mhm,
Everybody knows from the books, but it's like she and the other actors really did an excellent job showing that they were definitely older than most
mhm.
everybody else. So,
Yes.
they've lived a long life.
Yeah. Well, we have a super sticker from Salty Traveling Sea for 99 cents. It is a rose. Thank you very much, Salty Traveling Sea, for your support. And of course, for the rose. And you, sir, get yourself a rose. All right. Whoops. Okay, there it is. Thank you. And let's see. Snorted Poopus Cooper says, I'm listening to Andy Circus reading The Fellowship on the computer. Sadly, MP3 I bought done work. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I like that they've been doing that with Andy Circus. It's especially fun when you listen to him do The Hobbit, because, of course, he is the perfect voice for Gollum.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, there we go. Yeah, look, we just read each other's minds. Yeah.
On the
And
same wavelength.
yeah, now I think that Peter Jackson did amazing things, and not going to take away anything what he did, with, especially with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But my gosh, the more you hear about all the stuff that's coming up, like the hunt for Gollum and all that, it's like, oh man, just going down that terrible, terrible road
Yep.
of, yeah, just not good. But look,
Kind of beating things too much to death, so to speak.
yeah, doing the same errors that a lot of the other stuff is doing. We saw it in The Hobbit, and we're going to see this here. So
Mhm.
yeah. Well, look at this one. Now, this is the very scene I was just talking about, the whole famous mirror. And I almost said the mirror of Erised. My gosh. I've had Harry Potter on the mind for no reason whatsoever. But here she is in that white outfit that, of course, I just love. And the big pitcher that she's going to pour the water into the bowl and freak out poor little Frodo. But once again, this is definitely a a Virgin Mary pose, and they know the connections that Tolkien had written about it, the applicability, and so I think that the costume people definitely were inspired, because like this again, just take away the picture and put a baby Jesus there, that would be definitely a work of art that, or a statue that you'd see in church, but
Right.
also that otherworldliness of her we see, I mean, just that weirdness in her eyes. And this has, let's see, it's the dress, I think the drapey stuff that's coming from her sleeves, very
I think I
long
think
depth,
I
yeah.
I think so. Yeah, definitely her sleeves. But it's very flowy feminine still.
Hmm. Yes.
Even though she's dealing with her own internal conflicts going on in this scene,
Hmm.
in the movies. And especially with Frodo knowing and recognizing that she sees the same thing that she, has in herself. And it's like, but the way, oh gosh, it's almost like it's contrasting with her. She's very, feminine, very obviously demure going on here, with the
Hmm.
lack of a better term. But then it's such a contrast to her face, her facial expression. It's
Hmm.
so different. It's just
Yeah.
It's very, very different, and it's so well done too because it still shows that there's good. It kind of gives the audience too with this whole look. It's like a theme of she's still a good person, but
Mhm.
there's conflict going on.
Yeah. Well, and also showing that you can be feminine and powerful at the same time. That
Hmm.
a lot of the fallacy that you see nowadays is that people think powerful woman means ugly woman. It's like, no.
Well, and powerful women need to, needs they don't need no man kind of nonsense or whatever. Like
Oh gosh.
she doesn't she walks into a place and she commands everybody without even saying a word. And
Yeah.
that's what she can do.
And comes in the first scene that we see her with her husband, that they are equals. And see, there's such an epic story behind all of that. And one of these days, well, I don't trust them to do it properly, so we don't need to see it, but it'll just be in our own head. Sort Pupus Gruber says the further we got from source with each part. Yes, I agree. I tend to blame Fairmarsh and Philippa Boyens for that. They thought they could write better than Tolkien. Yes and no, but don't, in my humble opinion, take away any blame from Peter Jackson because he was the one in charge. He was the director.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's kind of like what you see a little bit with House of the Dragon, not to go off on too much of a tangent here, where everyone's
Mhm.
blaming like this one writer. And I'm like, hey, the showrunner, the buck stops with the showrunner.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, hey, and I know what you mean, but Peter Jackson himself went far away from things in the whole Faramir thing. I will talk about that Faramir until the cows come home, till all eternity, what they did to my man. But I see what you're talking about. Um, but on the other hand, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, they did write some of the women scenes and the love scenes, and I thought that they did very well with it. We're going to talk about it a bit later, where you see the scene from the Houses of Healing. In the extended version, they at least gave some justice in Return of the King to Faramir and Eowyn. That
Mhm.
that was very well written. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. The problems with the original trilogy, well, some of them were unforgivable, but everything else was so much better that I can get over it. Um, yeah. Galadriel says, Soul Assassin is so epic that she makes a picture look mystical. Darn right. Probably get a plus 10 health bonus on it. Well, there are Lord of the Rings role playing games. I bet you would. Third Poopa says they correctly use silver for the picture. The elves love silver so much more than gold. Yeah, you see those details. Don't get the fat fuck. Oh yes, Soul Assassin. Don't get the fat suck from your face, ladies. It's not a good look. No, and it's permanent. It's like,
Yep.
come on. Oh, you can
Yep, don't
achieve
do
that
that.
look. Yeah, you can do it with makeup, even though I don't necessarily recommend that. But at least that's not permanent. These people are insane.
Yep.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wingus Dingus. But how can we know she's powerful unless she splits an ogre in half or a troll where she basically looks like she's trying out for the Olympics because she like springboards?
I think I checked out when it was the scene when she, I think, was riding the horse across the beach or whatever, and her goofy look, and I was just like, "Oh my
Yeah,
gosh."
that would be something that Days of Our Lives would have rejected. Starter Poopas Gruber says Jackson was being seduced by the budget with Gruchum. Yeah, exactly. And we see it with The Hobbit as well. But yes, very feminine, very elfish. Well, I like this. Well, we have two elves and one female, or one woman rather. They're all female
Mhm.
to look at. Oh wait. Oh, this is think a similar thing that I got up a little bit closer. Here you can see the circle. Oh, this is a different one that we were looking at before, or maybe it's the same one. The twisty
I
thing.
think I think it's a
Maybe
different one.
I
Yeah.
think it is too. Yeah, it is from the picture. And you see the around the neck there. You see that's what to me looks like a nun, a medieval nun going on, like a Dominican would wear something like this.
It's true, a Dominican would wear white like this.
Yeah, and you can see the sleeves there. I think she's wearing the same thing that she was wearing in the previous scene, but with that over it. You
Mhm.
also see her ring and the light
Nenya?
Yeah, and the night light of Arundel, that's or wait, light from the star that's in the
Right.
jar, or
Ri
it's all very
yeah.
complicated, but yes.
I think Ellen Neal? I'm
Uh,
probably
yes,
mispronouncing
yes.
it wrong. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we will mispronounce a lot of things here. If for no other reason, life's too short and my brain cells are all gone. She really loves oh gosh, no. Oh, sort of
Oh,
poopus.
sorry.
That's the comment of the century, but sadly true. She really loved that saddle. That's the elf hoodie. Yes, it is the elf hoodie. And
Hey,
yes,
I
no one
want that
likes
elf
to
hoodie. I think
yeah,
it's
I'll
great.
take it. Well, I'll tell you, these are fun. I've cosplayed or done Halloween with these a lot. It's a lot of fun. The face fat surgery thing as well, because the exception of fat face Helmsdeep elf, every elf in the show has a long narrow face. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it gives them that tall otherworldly thing going on. Elvish is hard. Yes. And I always just tell people, if you want to do any gotchas, if I'm going to mispronounce or forget something on the fly, fine, have it because I've had a terrible 24 hours. So it's gonna happen. But I know people in the chat aren't like that. But I will even say, hey, correct me, help me out here with this stuff. Because right now I am so immersed in the wheel of time that I need to kind of get out of that world to come into this one. And this is also a way of showing the makeup without showing the makeup. The, the everything that they did that they deserved. The Light of Arundel, yeah.
Thank you, Comic
Yeah,
Sense.
but so I was right. Woo! Yay, without even looking at Wikipedia. All right, now this is well, that's a different let's go back. Yeah, this is a different cloak that she's wearing here, but I think
Yep.
it's the same
Same
circlet.
circlet. Yeah.
Yeah. And a little leafy thing? Wait, is that like a little looks a little bit like the fellowship leaf there, but it's
I think you're
goldish.
right.
Yes.
It's more like cream
Mhm.
colored, or silver colored, or a little bit more beigey in a
Mhm.
way. It's not the green, especially. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
Well,
it.
look at that. Yeah, we found it. And another hood and just the way it falls. And some of these, I think not necessarily this one. Some of these are publicity shots that you'll be seeing. So it was not even costumes, maybe as they were worn in the show, or
Mm.
they changed their minds and they were like, oh, yeah, we're not going to do it like this. You're going to see that with one of the Eowyn ones. Hoodie called it. Yeah.
Well, and not only that, sometimes that happens a lot with a lot of promotions and commercial, little
Hmm.
advertisements here and there or whatever lead up to a trailer or something like that, because you'd see this sort of stuff, and then it's not even in it doesn't make the cut, so to
Yeah.
speak. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to see some of that with Arwen here later. Look, it's like Galadriel wasn't wearing any makeup. I'm a dude, so I would know she was. Yes, exactly. And that's a good example of good makeup design.
Mhm.
And you also see along here, let me see. Again, everything is kind of leafy looking, naturey. They really like that kind of stuff.
Very whimsical,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah, to the point of a bunch of weirdos in the 60s thought that Tolkien was their ally in their weird stuff. The
Of course, right?
and and he was not having it
Let me
at
guess.
all.
Let me guess. Damn hippies.
Something to that effect. Something to that effect. Yes. Well, and I don't want to talk about this on a stream, but even like an ecological humanist organization, called
Mm.
ELF, got it from this, and of course he was horrified about it. He was a very, very, very traditional man, and
Mhm.
elvish snuggie, missed opportunities. Yeah. Oh, gee, I would buy one in a
Me
heartbeat.
too. Oh my gosh. Girl, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can tell you only because I've looked. A lot of people on Etsy and stuff make a lot of replicas of this, but I never thought about a elvish hoodie, like
Ooh.
the cloak. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious.
Honestly, I would probably wear this anywhere, this cloak, honestly. I think
Oh,
this
yeah.
is very this is still a pretty and still a practical cloak, like, especially in the winter, you know?
Mhm. No, I know exactly what you mean. Now, of course, when I'm living in Texas now, so I don't ever really need something like this, but
Mm,
when I lived up north, yeah, I would wear medieval looking stuff all the time. I'd be like, "Screw y'all, I'm wearing this because it looks awesome." But I everything but the cream, because I've learned you never want to wear anything light like this because you don't want to spill your coffee.
mm,
If only our world fashion would change to this kinda sits in the mainstream, yeah. Well,
yeah.
some of this they used to have, like at the Oscars when you go to a ball or a real fancy event, red carpet, and there are still some actors that still do dress nice like this. Yeah, speaking of deleted scenes, this is a deleted scene, but it's really good with Galadriel. You see more detail here of the dress that we were looking at previously, unless if it's see, sometimes it's so hard to me to know, is it the same one or did they change? And if anyone knows any fashion people in the audience or people watching on the replay, but look at the way the dress on Galadriel, like the bottom half of it, it's
Mm.
many different layers and the way it flows. I mean, like, oh my gosh, it is so gorgeous. And
It looks
her
a
hair?
little bit different because even, like, like, where the sleeve the I guess, I don't know how you call that kind of style, translucent type sleeve.
Oh, you're
Where
right.
the shoulder is a little thicker,
Like a
like a
strap?
strap
Yeah.
but then it has the translucent sleeve right there, and it's very feathery at everywhere. It just looks
Mhm.
feathery to me. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
light.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, it definitely is different, and I think the other one, the transparent sleeve or whatever, it was actually more close fitting to the clothes, to the arm rather,
That's
and
true.
yeah, but yeah, look at that, how it's just one fold after oh, the other, I mean, I just love it, and her hair her hair's like part of it. The hair is part of the costume.
Honestly, I wish my hair could be that long and be that pretty all the time.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Though it's fake news, we said, because there would be frayed ends, but see, these ladies, they would have had ladies' maids. I see, if I had a ladies' maid, because I could see how you could put your hair into braids, and because she does have the look of the way your hair will look after you've braided it and unravel it. It has that look. So she probably has a lot of elf maids to help her out so
I
that keep
know,
it so nice
I
and
know in college, I remember some of the ladies in the dormitory I was in, my junior, senior year,
mhm,
um, they would sometimes, like, especially the ones that had really long hair, they would go to bed like, they wouldn't go to bed necessarily with wet hair, but they would
mhm,
braid their hair wet,
mhm.
and then, of course, it would air dry, and then, of course, they would go to bed, and then they would just kind of unbraid it, and it would almost give this kind of effect.
Mhm. Yes, I will do
So,
that
I don't
too.
know if it works with everybody.
I think it also depends on the type of hair, but
Uh-oh.
definitely well, the other part of it
Hello?
is oh, whoops. Did you lose me? Are you Can you all hear me? Best way to get those oh,
Hello?
it's showing. Can you all hear me,
Uh-oh.
people in the chat? Because it's showing that I'm talking. Did you lose me, Magitek, or did I lose you?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's see, what does the chat say? They say yes, they can hear me. We can hear her. Oh, you can hear both of us. So you just can't hear me. Uh, yeah. Okay, Mags is saying she's gonna come out and come back in. So there we go. Yeah, we were just talking about hair and braiding hair because braiding hair is awesome. I was just gonna talk about how the way they have their hair pulled back, though. I can tell you that doesn't work. That does not work. And that they go and they pin it, they film it, the hair falls out, and then they do it again. With it, they're also working with wigs because I will sometimes do that. I'll take like different sides of my hair and pull it back like that, and it won't stay for long. I might do it maybe when I'm going to church or something, and you also have to put in like 1,000 hairpins to get it to stay in place. Uh, if they had rubber bands back there, they would have been using rubber bands. We all know Madge would try and braid her hair like Galadriel and somehow end up looking like from the Vikings. Oh, look who it is. It is Steve Kenobi. Hello, Teresa and Mags. Hold me like you did on Naboo. Of course I will. Of course I will. We were just talking about braiding hair. You've probably heard me talk about braiding hair. Yes, braiding hair is something that we definitely do endorse here in Miss Martin Muses, and that definitely is a look from Galadriel that we see here. Now, you can tell over with Arwen that they have the same hairstylist because now this is from a deleted scene, and Arwen is wearing purple. She is seated, and again that kind of otherworldly thing, shimmery look that she has here, and I would say it's a cardigan that she's wearing, except it's not really a cardigan. It's like half a cloak that's sticking there to her shoulders with a scoop neck. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. It's just something that we didn't see because this is part of the sequence where Arwen, thank goodness it never happened, ended up at Helm's Deep. Thank goodness they cut that. They realized that that was just a bad idea. But yeah, she's also got several layers on, I'm seeing here. So if we saw her standing, we might see that, or it's almost like a shawl because look, it's up over her hands. But yeah, I love this picture though because you can really see the detail of Galadriel's dress there. A shall. Wait, Magitek Max says, for whatever reason, my browser decided to say that my mic and headphones can't be used. Oh, give me a moment. You know, this only happens during a stream. Everyone's saying hello to Stieg. Yeah, we're talking about clothing. Yeah, Christopher Lee is why Arn Helm's Deep didn't happen. Yeah, you know, I'm still trying to find a source on that, but that would not surprise me one little bit. There is also fan backlash. Now, we do know that Peter Jackson listened to the fans and the feedback, and they did do a few reshoots. Definitely the Arwen was one of them. Yeah, Christopher Lee scared everybody on set because they knew that he was an expert on Lord of the Rings. So you have that, and the backlash with Faramir, the way they did him in the Two Towers, was something that they definitely heard and listened to and did their best with it. But they were like, hey, we'd already filmed it. Oh, wait, I've already said that. Yeah. Yeah. We love Christopher Lee, but definitely it was just so stupid. And if you know how they intended to do it, it was even going to be dumber. It was just something straight out of Days of Our Lives school. And I love Days of Our Lives because it's a soap opera, but I only like Days of Our Lives when it is Days of Our Lives. Here's another look at that dress from Arwen. I mean, what a pretty dress. It's just too bad we never got to see this one. She's barefoot. Look, no shoes. And looks like she's wearing neutral nail polish, but yeah, that's okay. I think here we see the little buckle. There's a little more detail along here. And yeah, this is almost like a shrug. I don't know. Magitek Mag is a little bit better than I when it comes to some of the technology. They did Faramir dirty. Yes, they did. I mean, I'm still not over it. I will never be over it, and I will never forgive Peter Jackson. It was Two Towers has some great moments, but if I were to say, like, what is the worst of all the three movies, definitely the Two Towers, because it's the one where it deviates the most from the books, because they decided for pacing to have some things happen in the Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, the Return of the King. But that meant that they felt like they needed some conflict in the Two Towers. It wasn't just the stuff with Faramir, but it was also, oh dear, it was also the stuff with that wolf attack and, oh, Aragorn's dead. He flew off a cliff and bleh. It was just, we called it like John Black from Days of Our Lives. Make Arwen's wedding dress. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, look who's back. It it is Magitek Mags. Woo! You're here.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. My browser
No,
decided to say that something else was using my mic and speakers. So don't don't even ask me.
okay, no, it's okay. Trust me, anything that happens on a stream, I don't even blink about because it's only on a stream that you will have any kind of technical difficulties.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the ridiculous business, yes, with the Wolf Riders. Ooh, yes. Oh, it was just stupid. And the people from the onering.com, not the onering.net, the good people, they did a video where they just ranted also about the whole thing out of Gilead, where Frodo's like, "Oh, here's the ring," and the Nazgul's like, "Ah!" And then they kind of shoot at the Nazgul, and then they just go away. They're like, "Oh, okay, I guess we'll just leave now." It's like, no, they would come and circle back and try to get the ring again. It was just so stupid. It's like, we're taking you. Oh, never mind. Look who's saying hi. Pippin 2. What does Steve say? Pippin 2 is tied up, then flails his arms when the horse almost stomps in. This is right after he is tied up again. Oh, yeah. Lots of continuity issues. Yes, especially with costumes. I noticed that. But yeah, check out this Magitek Mags. This is a look at the not fake Arwen dress, but from the cut scene and from the top, and you see her toes. And also more detail of what she's wearing, and again that kind of flowery thing that you see on the elves.
On the patterns. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting dress. This actually looks good with her coloring and complexion because of her dark hair too.
Yes, it's unfortunate that this is from such a ridiculous scene that it got cut, because I would have loved to have seen this dress in the movie
Mhm.
and her skin and everything. Yes. Oh dear me. Good stuff. All right. So let's see, what else do we have from Arwen? Oh yay, here's this dress. That's when she's like, there was a sun. And and okay, I did laugh. I made fun of basically every Arwen scene in the Return of the King except for the end. Arwen's dying, and we're all like, what? But check this out. I hate to say this. My first thought is, she's gonna fall out of that dress. I'm sure every man was hoping she would. I mean, look at that thing.
It didn't look like it was staying on for very long,
No,
wasn't
and she's definitely not wearing a bra. Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And Snortapoopus says, sadly, it's time for an aging bear to retire for the night. Have fun, everyone, and every a fun stream, everyone human. Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for your contribution. You really, Snortapoopus really knows his stuff, and sleep well. We love our bears, our polar bears, especially here at Miss Smart Muses. Yeah,
Good
and this
night.
is also
Good
after
night,
she drew.
Shorty.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
This is also after she dramatically like throws off her cloak. I'm like, just keep the cloak on. Like, why are you just throwing it? And where'd the cloak end up? Because she was wearing, I think, the writing thing in this scene. But I'm not sure if the one on the right is from a display or if it is a cosplay, because I'm looking at some of the pattern around the scoop part, and it's looking like, wait, that I don't think that's the same thing, but it
I
has,
think I think it's like a cosplay version of it.
yeah,
It definitely doesn't have the same detail, that's for sure.
no, and it looks like they have different material. It looks like it's a velvet dress.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. And if you look, the same silver pattern and theme, and it's one dress, but it looks almost like there's a layer like around the bodice. Like,
Yeah, I don't like it's a very interesting look. Um Maybe it's meant to be kind of like an underdress.
yeah,
I don't know what to describe it, but I mean, it's a really interesting look. It's a very interesting layer.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
it almost acts as if it's a necklace.
yeah, a little bit. Well, here, I just want to get this comment here. Thank you, Comic Sense, for being here. I know you've been here the whole time. Thank you. And you were waiting while we were delayed. So I appreciate you. And yes, he's going to be on Friday with the Nerd Father. So check him out there. Um, it, I have had some dresses before where I'm like, no way in hell am I going out in this? It is way too revealing. And then you get like an undershirt thing to wear to make it look less pornographic, for lack of a better word. It almost looks like that's what they did. Like the real dress is too low because it's dipping underneath. And they're like, okay, let's add a little layer there. But I don't think that they did that because, with Hollywood, but that's what it looks like happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
It's like, you're not going out looking like that. Like her dad is gonna be like Elrond. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll wear this underneath it. But yeah, so like the short sleeves and then the flowing stuff everywhere. Yeah, so this is a very pretty dress, and her hair is down. It was a little bit silly because you would not dress like that if you were going out on a trip, out on a horse. This is something you'd wear when you were at court entertaining high tea or even at a ball, but suspension of disbelief because it's just so pretty. Now, I love this dress.
Oh, this one's beautiful. This one's
Mhm.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. First of all, I love red because woo. Yeah, and this is a publicity shot, obviously, but wow, look at I mean, the scoopy thing on her forearms. Look at that. I mean, dang, that's like almost
I think
down to her feet.
I think there's a real term for those types of sleeves. I just don't
Yeah.
know them
Yeah,
off
we
the
don't
top of
know. We
my
don't know our fashion. We're amateurs here, but
I
yeah,
mean,
but
I guess you could say they're long butterfly sleeves. Like, I don't know if that's the correct term for it.
yeah, but no, it's great. I mean, look at I wanted I'm gonna cosplay this one. I have not worn this one before. I've done a Galadriel one, I think. But look at how gorgeous it is. And I think it's definitely a heavy material. I hesitate to call it velvet. Well, I think the black part of the dress might be velvet. I mean, but
It
look.
looks velvet. It looks
Mhm.
velvet.
Yeah, so we've got the black, the red, and then the gold, I think is around, the gold around the chest and the shoulders and in the upper arms. I love this dress.
Oh, yes, I do too. I feel like was this a promotion or was this actually in like a short scene in the movie itself?
It was a scene where she randomly drops the book because her life is starting to fade from her.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I remember. Yes, I thought so. I was like this because it was it was starting to look very fall-ish
Mhm.
in Rivendell. And yes, yes, now that I remember that, and for Palpatine stole her
Uh,
look for this
I
red
d
robe.
I hate that plot so much. It's the truth. When we were watching it the first time and the whole cinema was like this, when Elrond's like, "Arwen is dying," everyone's like, "What? What did he say? Why is she dying?" And even later, my mom said, "What was that all about?" And I have no idea. It's like, "Her life is tied to the ring," and everyone was like, "Why?" It's just silly. Yeah, so I think I might even have that scene. Oh, here we go. Here's the scene. Yeah, because she's holding the book. Remember, then it just falls out of her hand because her life is sapping from her. She's losing the will to live.
Mhm.
They were really pulling out of their butt something to try to bring her into this plot, and it just fell flat. But you can see this from the sides. Um, but wow, Rivendell, you've got some great furniture.
I know. I know.
On the
I want their
shed.
decorator designer or whatever it is.
Yeah, hell yeah. The elves really know how to do it, yeah. And I don't even know why she's reading, but I don't know. It's just like whatever. But yeah, so that is when she has the dress in the show, in the movie rather. All
Mhm.
right, we're getting to her coronation dress, which we were told was kind of ruined a little bit. So that's never go ahead and make out with the king in front of everybody. Oh, that was so stupid. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to start bashing the movies if I keep this up. There were some really stupid moments, but look at this dress. Oh, so pretty.
It is very, very beautiful. I would never think of like this color green on somebody like Liv Tyler like this, but
Mhm,
it really like whatever they did
mhm.
it really well. I
Yeah,
don't
they earned the Oscars on this.
Oh yes, they did. I mean, look at her a circlet headdress, I'm gonna call it, because
Mhm.
even that style is just gorgeous.
Yeah, and it kind of has like along the side, even goes down over the ears, and
Mhm.
oh, and again, those long the scoopy things that are yet there in the different color, the different layers, the texture, everything. And of course, Liv Tyler just looks so gorgeous
Oh,
in
yes.
anything. Yeah, so
I
this
think they
is
definitely picked out the right people for the look of being elves, to
mhm.
be quite honest. At least as far as the women are concerned. Um, and
Yeah.
even Orlando Bloom really fit that role pretty well, looking very ethereal, very
It's
otherworldly.
I know it's so many jokes of like that he could do a hair shampoo commercial.
I
You know, 'cause
know.
he's like, "Even when I'm going through the mines of Moria, climbing through here, like, my hair stays fabulous."
That
I
would be a great Head& and Shoulders commercial, especially the
Okay.
time back then.
Put your head on my shoulders.
Uh,
Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think I have this out of order, but that's okay. We'll, skip see, it's after wait, there it is. Here is where she is wearing the dress in the movie with the king. Now, according to this picture, the color is not as striking, but I think it's the coloring from the photograph because in the movie
yeah.
I remember it looking. So you see her wearing that. Uh, oh man, I mean, every girl wants to wear something beautiful and pretty like this.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I mean, every girl wants to, wear something beautiful when she's meeting, the king.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you see, there's this photo that made me go, "We gotta do a sequel with the men." Because look, I at the detail on his, it's, like, very masculine, it's got the armor thing, and underneath what he's got, like, this red stuff going on and
I
boots and
know. Oh
the
gosh.
the symbols of Gondor, the crown, and he's got fabulous hair as well.
He's got fabulous hair.
Yeah. Well, because for most of the trilogy, he does not. Most of the trilogy, he's filthy and his hair is dripping grease and dirt and he looks awful. And so when he cleaned up, I was like, dude, I don't even who is this person? And the chainmail thing, and he's wearing a sword. Yeah, so that's good stuff. And then this is from a museum display, I think that they did of the costumes. And you see this here. Now, in this, it looks like it's a little more copper colored, but I don't know what's going on. But
Mhm.
definitely you see Arwen's. Yeah, wow, that's longer than I thought. The things around her ears and dripping down, and you can see the color again.
A lot of because I remember a while ago when I had gone to, a Ren fair, Renaissance festival, and I bought myself a circlet there, and it had something very similar, like a drooping style, like from the
Mhm,
circlet itself. I would call it more of a headdress because at
mhm,
that point, it's kind of more, ornate and
mhm,
elaborate. It's really kind of heavy.
mhm.
It can be really heavy. I mean, you can feel it. So it's amazing that they, wearing that sort of thing. Now, I don't know what kind of, material they used for this particular circlet, but, it's a really interesting, I mean, it's what is it? Circlets were
Mhm.
part of human history. And it's really interesting that they definitely went with they still went with like the medieval look because that's kind of what Tolkien was writing with in mind aesthetically.
Mhm.
Um, but I just love the detail of the headdress part of it as well. And of course, elves would be able to walk around with anything heavy on their heads, so they'd be
Exactly.
perfect.
Well, when you learn, like, about the Queen Elizabeth II, and I was following that with the coronation of King Charles, that sometimes those things can weigh as much as 30 pounds. I mean, it's insane how much these things can be, and I'm sure
Mhm.
obviously it wasn't that heavy, but definitely could be an issue. So, yeah, so that's that costume. Now I'm gonna have to go back because, oh gosh, I could just yeah, that's a good picture of Aragorn. This dress, this is the one where they had the flashback from the two towers, and you see Aragorn's feet there because he's laying in that chaise thing, and she's wearing. like a morning dress going on here. It's a lilac-y color, very flowing, uh, arms exposed, and her hair is perfect, of course. Because some people are like, were they sleeping together? Were they just waking up? I was like, no, they weren't. Look at her hair, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
If they just got up, no, and you don't sleep in like a gazebo and a chaiselon just because Aragorn doesn't have feet. I mean, doesn't have shoes, rather. He has feet because the feet are right there.
He could have been napping, y'all. Leave him alone.
Yeah, exactly. Dude's been through a lot, but yeah, but I like this one as well. I think it's really nice. And here you see from the back, look at that, look at that.
I love this dress. Now I feel like this dress is like a perfect like ball gown type dress.
Mm,
Especially in the summertime. Spring and
yes,
summer type balls. And honestly, you could wear it later in the day, or especially if the event calls for it, or especially at night, because I think it would just, and the way they did her hair for this scene too is just perfect with it.
yeah, I love that look, and yeah, you can't tell until you see the other one that the front part of it is almost like a 1950-ish kind of, or for it's rather evening gown kind of look, and
Mhm.
then you've got this over it that's attached there, and you see it along the back that makes it like even extra elegant. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is definitely something that you could have worn, say, to the inauguration. When we were doing all the inauguration clothes. So
Mhm.
yeah, all right. So I'm gonna move through here, but yeah, we've already seen this. Oh, and this it's behind the scenes shot when they're going obviously to film it, and you can really see this part here from the coronation one, and she's lifting up the dress. And look, it's dragging along. See, that's the other thing. That's why I'd say not all these dresses what you would see in these contexts, because they would be like sweeping the floor, like they're him. Like all of this would just be filthy in real life if they wore those the way
Oh,
they do.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
or people tripping on them, or they'd
Mhm.
be like somebody stepping on them or something. Oh my gosh.
It would be, yeah, a mess, but yeah, very pretty stuff. Alright. Mhm. Oh, mhm. Here is another one. Look how it loops down and around. I'm obsessed with this headpiece thing, and some people were saying that maybe that was supposed to be her crown as queen, but she would have had a coronation, so I don't
Y-
think that's
ex-
what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
I agree.
that they were surprising Aragorn. I mean, that was a little silly too. Okay. It was
But
all silly. It was all silly. It's
but
like,
I think
"Look, here she is."
I think this headpiece is perfect for this, because this is almost this, it's completely different from what she's normally worn, and this is
Mhm,
more like, I am, you're meeting a king. You're meeting a coronation. This is a special
mhm.
event, so this is kind of like a special headpiece, so to
Yes.
speak. And it really dresses up the look a lot.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's just so gorgeous. And obviously she had her hair braided, or her wig was braided, because look, it's got that wavy look there. Uh,
Mhm.
so 2 thumbs up. I I endorse this. Oh, this is the cloak she was wearing overneath that blue dress that she was falling out of. And you
Mhm.
see the clasp here. It looks like a kind of a butterfly
It
pattern-ish
it
thing.
it does. I like it. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was in a butterfly pattern, because you're just more paying attention to the face, the facial expressions, and what they're doing. You're not paying attention to the rest of the situation,
Mhm.
but look at the detail even in the velveting of the cloak.
Yeah, look at
Um,
that. And then
it's
how it tucks underneath.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Drapes.
see, this cloak is great. I'm gonna be going, like, to Etsy or eBay after this and see it's like, "Can I get one of these?" Uh, I have seen they do have wedding-inspired things that people have made, like this wedding dress inspired from Lord of the Rings, and, people definitely take advantage in a good way of this, but, yeah, she just looks
Mhm.
really gorgeous there. So, you can see that's what she throws off, when she goes to meet her dad. I'm like, "Dude, that's the thing that you threw off, stop it." Alright. And this, I'm not sure what this is from. I don't know if this was a deleted scene in the movie, because we didn't see her in this with the hood thing down in the movie. So I'm
This almost looks like it's from the fellowship portion when she's writing Frodo to Rivendell and the Nazgul are on her trail.
yeah.
It
Well, but
almost looks like that, but I could be wrong, and
well,
you
yeah, no, because she's wearing something completely different in that scene. She's kinda
that's true.
wearing the
This is
riding
probably a promo
clothes.
then, yeah.
Yeah, a promo thing or a deleted scene. Well, because it's definitely the same whoops, wrong. The same cloak, right? Yeah, well, it's got the same clasp, it's yeah, it's like if the hood were down. You know what? Maybe the top part of it's different. This could have
Maybe
been maybe
it's
an
the same
earlier.
clasp, but a different cloak.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I don't know what this is from,
Yeah.
because it definitely was not in the movie. Alright, and here's another circlet thing that she's wearing. This is the scene where the fellowship is leaving, and the flashback from the 2 towers, which I thought that was stupid too, but don't see, the more I gotta quit talking about this because I'm like, the more I think about it, the more I think it's stupid. It's like, "Oh, we gotta break up." It's like, "No, you don't." Like, you finally decided after all of this to say no. But that's a really, really pretty headdress thing, and you can see the around here, again, more detail of that.
Mhm.
Do I have the full costume here? Oh, I do not. I do not. Well, I suck, but yeah, it's a long kind of warm cloak that she's wearing, but it is supposed to be in the winter. It's right after Yule, Christmas, when the
Mhm.
fellowship leaves, so that would be appropriate.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is also from a deleted scene. I think the same dress that she was wearing when she was seated. Now that I'm looking closer at that,
Mm.
yeah.
Gotcha.
She was definitely supposed to be in more of the movies, and who knows, maybe that's why he had to pull out of his butt, "Oh, crap, what are we gonna have her do? Let's just dub in Elrond saying, 'She's dying!'" Okay, speaking of which, Steve was referring to this is the notorious Arwen at Helm's Deep. Um, so you can see that she's been fighting. That's why she's all dirty. And this is what she was wearing. Now, I think this is an awesome, awesome costume. And you can see the epaulets, I think, here kind of. I mean, got the
Mhm.
design. So she's like warrior clothes, but also still looking elvish and feminine and all these little buttons. She's on a horse here.
Interesting,
And
okay.
yeah, you can see here that this is, the ears and, her hair's tied back like your hair would be if you were in battle. I always thought that was silly from the Rings of Prime where they have Galadriel's hair flying everywhere. It's like, no, if you were going into battle, you would have your hair very tightly braided and, out of the way because it's actually dangerous
Yep.
to have your hair flowing everywhere when you're trying to fight. But yeah, that's the notorious thing.
Yep, 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 yep.
But so for those of you that haven't seen it, now you've seen it. All right, we're gonna move on to Awen. Check out Awen. This is a promotional photo. This is what she's wearing, I think, in the the Return of the King. We just see it very briefly when they're coming back from the Helm's Deep. You see her wearing it. I love this. You see, Arwen is not Awen. Gosh darn it. Awen. See, they all have the same names that sound the same. Awen is a human. So, and she is also from Rohan, which has some Viking stuff going on. So you see her wearing this cream, cloak, and then this brown kind of bodice over thing happening. I don't know how to describe that. And maybe was she wearing this also in the scene where she was giving Pippin his armor? She might have been.
I mm, I'm trying
Yeah.
to
But
remember that scene, but maybe,
yeah.
probably. It would be something that she would definitely wear because it seemed to suit even this coloring uh, seemed to suit her well.
Yeah.
But she's still feminine, but it still keeps to the tradition or the aesthetic of Rohan in general,
Mhm.
being at least in the movies. So we're looking at the movie version of it. It looks very well done in terms of she's still feminine, she's still proper, but It's practical looking. It's not overly ornate, so to
Mhm.
speak. It's very practical, very ready for whatever situation comes to it. So, yeah, I think that Amanda Pizzolatto said, "I think you meant Mary, not Pippin."
Oh, yes, you're right, duh,
Yeah.
because Pippin was with my man at that time. He was putting on, Faramir's clothes, so it was good times. I think you meant Mary. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for being here, Amanda Pizzolato. Yes. Also something that a noblewoman would wear. Definitely the clothes that you see with the humans, is the people of Rohan, is
Mhm.
really medieval inspired, like that they will wear, like, you could have seen something very similar to this.
It
They
almost
would have their shifts that they would wear, and then they would put stuff over that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the distinction that I think, at least, the Lord of the Rings crew tried to make from different, from Gondor versus something
Mhm.
like Rohan, and, it's very earthy colors, very, they're horse people, clearly, and everything else, and, it almost kinda had a Celtic vibe to it too, um, so to speak, but I
Yeah.
know that I knew it's more of there's a little it's kind of a little blending of certain type of cultures, but you can see it.
Yes,
Um,
definitely. And check
mhm.
out the sword. That's a really good picture of her sword.
It is very much.
Yeah, Stieg is judging, well, because he says I should dress like a cowboy to count all the Americans pretending to be Vikings. Hey, not everybody, okay? But yeah, I'm trying to imagine you dressed as a cowboy, and I'm like, no. Uh, well, I don't know, getting some cowboy boots and some spurs and
As long as
because
you say "Giddy up."
oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
I
Yeah.
just I do like this promo though. This
Mhm,
is she still is very she looks very wearied, has a lot of concerns and conflicts going on, and but she's
mhm.
still very beautiful and feminine, and still, and even if she's holding a sword, it's not meant to be in a position of being masculine or whatever.
Yeah,
It's still a very powerful look too.
exactly. She's not like Galadriel sitting there with her legs spread. Like
I know,
that one promo
exactly.
shot, remember that? Yeah. Yeah, no, this is gorgeous. This is nice. The thing underneath her boobs, part of me is wondering, is that because she didn't have much and it was it gave her a little bit, hey, there we know all the tricks.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's fine. Women do that all the time in history. That's what it looks like there, and I mean, it's really good for her. And you're right. Look at her world weary face. I love it. And this is from the display, obviously the museum thing, so you can see here. I would love to someday if they ever did something like this again, to see them. And I like this because you can see that the white part actually has a pattern on it.
I would love to cosplay this. I would
Oh
love to wear
gosh.
this,
Yeah.
honestly. I
And
would
look,
love
it's like got
to.
this braid here thing around in this pattern here
Mhm.
around the shoulders, and of course, yeah, there would be
The little
something
cinch
kind of
right
holding
there.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, holding it up like a string. Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so nice. And the detail here on the shoulder. So 2 thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then this is the one where we first see her when no, wait, rather not when we first see her, but this is when she comes out and sees the flag fly away, which apparently was not planned. It was just because it was so windy, it flew away, and they said, "Hey, that looks really good." This was right before the White Rider and Aragorn and, the gang show up at
And it actually
Edoras.
it was probably even though it was an accident,
Mhm.
it was actually perfect because it went with the theme of
Yeah.
Rohan is dying, basically. So
Yeah, and the desperation she feels and the way she looks,
oh,
and
yeah.
I love this. This is very similar style because you also see that same kind of roped braided thing here around there,
Her
but much
Yeah.
wider sleeves. You've got the belt, the
That's
gold
very
belt.
medieval. Yep.
Mhm, yes, very medieval look, and I also like because this is what the women's hair would be looking like all the time. Obviously, she stepped out and the wind's blowing, it's just everywhere in her face, but just gorgeous. In the book, Tolkien describes her hair as like a river of gold, and I just think that this just looks great. Yeah, we
I
love it.
love this dress too. This is
Mhm.
another dress I would love to wear, honestly.
Exactly. Oh gosh, yeah, I would wear well, I'm always wary of white. I've already talked about that because white is dangerous. However, yes, this is an amazing one. Oh, and she has a necklace going on there.
Mhm. Very
Yeah, really.
simple, so it
Mhm.
doesn't detract from the rest of the dress.
Yeah, and then look, I think maybe this is where you're saying, like, maybe you're getting Celtic vibes because when you look at the patterns on the
Mhm.
door here of the Rohan and the bell, and as you said, different obviously from the elves and different from what you would see in Gondor. All right, this is from the Return of the King when she gives the cup to Aragorn to drink from, and really nice. Um,
It's very practical, but it's still a little bit
mhm,
more dressier, for
mhm,
the occasion of what was going on, and, it's still earthy. It's
mhm,
not it it's not anything. It's not like the elves. The elves you go
mhm.
from something like the elves to something like these are humans living in, this practical world here.
Yeah,
So,
they've got both feet in the world, and gosh, yeah,
it's
and it
very
just
pretty
remind
though.
you. Oh gosh, yeah, I could just watch this forever, but it reminds me when I'm looking at all these. Yeah, Eowyn was a princess,
Yep.
essentially, and she will of course officially become a princess when she comes of Ithilien, but royalty. These are not just like normal people. So
Right.
they do a really good job. Now here she is in her uh, clothing when she's Durnhelm, when she's dressed as a man. Obviously a promo shot because she doesn't look like that at all. The hair, and I think this was probably taken. Well, definitely long before the actual scene, because the very famous moment where she takes off the helmet and
Right.
you see that she is no man. But the chainmail there on the shoulders, so this is what she rides into battle with. Again, still feminine, even though she's dressed like a dude. But yeah, I like that.
Yep. Well, and I remember what is it even in the movie itself, but it would be something like a Rohan, a people of Rohan in their particular condition and setting.
Mhm.
I would certainly expect even the noble women would know how to be able to defend themselves in terms, or at least, as best as they can, or learn how to fight, because clearly, at least far as the movie tried to portray it as, it was they're not holed up in walls like in like Gondor is, or what have you.
Yeah.
It's you know it's a different kind of country, so to speak.
Yeah, they're
Um,
they're horse people.
yep,
Well, as Awen says, women learn that you
yep.
can still die on a sword. And looking closer, I didn't notice this before. You see the pattern here that
Ooh, look at that.
yeah, on the wow, I just caught that. My goodness gracious, that looks great.
I don't know whether
So,
you would call that padding or metal, or is it part of the armor itself?
yeah,
But it looks
either
really
way,
cool. The
y
details,
yeah, and, you've got the crisscross thing here and
the
the shoulder, yeah,
tie. Yep.
yeah, tie, thank you, the crisscross thing. Yeah, that's a technical word, that is a technical term. Alright, and so, gosh, it just reminds me of the journey that Eowyn goes on in the
Mm.
movies. Mhm. Alright, this is when we first see her. This is straight out of medieval princess look. Ex
Oh yes.
Yeah, except for her hair being down, it's actually completely straight, medieval, and she's got the little belt thing around here. She's wearing a necklace and got some detail. It's green, it's a heavy material, and a woman would have, even a noble woman, this would be something that she would maybe have like one of these and wear it all the time. And they would actually put like different things underneath them so that you would not actually wash the dress. You would wash like the the under things and
The underdress stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
because, it was hard, but I just love this and her hair, and that's when she's looking at Worm Tongue, so, yeah, if looks could kill.
Yep.
Yeah, Amanda Pizzolato says the costume department just knocked it out of the park, such attention to detail. Yeah, I mean, look, and the different shades of green we have. Yeah, I like well, I'm just gonna quit saying I like this because I like everything. Yeah, this is the funeral dress
The
in
morning
the
dress, yeah.
yes, she's in a promo
She
picture.
actually has her hair up in that scene, but I guess for this, it's more like a promo maybe? Or just like a
Yeah,
what
this
are
is
they
definitely a promo. I mean, it looks like maybe that even looking at her hair, they almost kept it the same and just put different clothing on. You're going to see in a second where I do have her in the movie where you see with her hair up. But
Mhm,
I mean, just gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous she is in the strawberry blonde going on. You see the necklace, the belt, the gold stuff here, and she's wearing black
well, and
obviously
it's
because her
it
uncle cousin.
this could be like a test because I know sometimes they'll do test pictures of, like, "Let me take a picture of this with this
Hmm.
person in this
That's true.
costume," to be able to figure it out, and maybe from there, they were like, "Yeah, we need to put her hair up," or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, they'll even excuse me, film too. They'll film them and it's like, "Oh, it doesn't look like this. It looks like crap," or "We need to add this." Yes,
Yep.
but gosh, I like this look with the hair down, frankly. I think it's really nice. Alright, here it is. Yeah, I'm sorry about her in the mid-sing because it makes her face look funny, but this is her in the scene, and she's got a cloak thing over what she's wearing, and you see the patterns, again, the patterns here, and very high-necked. She's wearing a circlet as well and a
Mhm,
little veil. Now, to me, when her looking like this is almost more authentically medieval because this is what a woman would do. I've talked about this before that you wouldn't have women running around with their hair flowing everywhere. They would have their hair up or they would have like a wimple. Yeah, even though this is not a wimple, but something very high necked and they would wear veils around them. And so this is to me a very authentic look, though maybe not the most attractive look for her. And it is Jacob Ironside. Hello.
"Hi,
Thank you
Jacob."
for being here, Jacob. Yes, so there she is singing her song in Old English, I believe is what they used for it. And then we get a closer look here. So you have the circlet, and you can see that her hair is tied up. And I've done this before, actually, where you kind of twist it and then pin it behind there at the nape of the neck. Looks like she's wearing, actually, this might be a necklace, maybe,
That
or
that might
if
be
it's
part of
part
the
of her cloak.
dress.
I think
It
it's
could
part of the dress, yeah. It looks almost like a thing of office, a chain of office. I know that's not what they're going for, but, it matches what she has here, and again, very high-necked. I think this was definitely a good morning dress and a very medieval look. Oh, yeah, I just noticed her earrings. They got little stars, it looks like.
very
Little
simple,
studs.
and it works well with the rest of the pieces that they have on her, so
Mhm. Yep. Oh, this is where she says that line to Aragorn. In the movie, she says it here. Later, she says it, in Return of the King, that she's packing up her sword, and this is her moving clothes. Now, these moving clothes are realistic. Like, Arwen's sitting there ready to go to, the Metropolitan Opera in her, traveling clothes and the other thing, but this is very practical, very
the thing is,
nice.
you have to remember, Teresa, they are elves, there's not
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, when you yeah, these are down to earth people, but this is what you would wear if you were traveling, yeah, but, she's wearing, like, the shift kinda thing underneath and then the dress thing over it,
Mhm.
rolled up sleeves, brown. This is what you would wear, like, your blue jeans clothes back then, so
Right. And it's and the coloring too is perfect because you're traveling, you're gonna get dirt, you're gonna get
mhm.
grime, you're gonna sweat, like all kinds of things, plus animals, other people.
Oh
It's
gosh,
just
yeah.
who knows what you're gonna come across. And this is far more practical to be able to handle, anything and everything. So
The more you mention that, when you talked about being around animals and all that, I was like, these people would have smelt so bad, especially the fellowship. Like Aragorn, not only was he dirty, he would have stunk. Him and Boromir, all those
they
guys.
would have been ripe. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Everyone except for Legolas, of course.
Look at this. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we 2 thumbs up about this. And this is the first time we see her, so to speak, with her hair down. Well, we've seen it with it down, but this is definitely where it is more metaphorical.
Mhm.
And good stuff. This is them on the journeys. She's wearing the same outfit, but now she's got her heavy cloak, her heavy coat. And I would love to wear in the winter. I would totally wear this. Maybe
Oh,
different
yes.
coloring, but as you said, brown, and you see all the buttons, and you could tell that this would definitely be really warm. And you've got the stuff around the cuff. Um,
Right. It's still practical. It's not, it's not too ornate. It
mhm,
still shows who she is, but also the coloring is practical for traveling for dust and dirt and grime.
mhm. Yeah, and, going with the color scheme that we also see with Rohan, because when you get down to Gondor, it's definitely, like, brighter and different. You got a lot of blues down there
Yep.
In Gondor. Oh, Amanda says, "And on an interesting stew to go with it." Yes, that was in the deleted scene where she gives that awful stew to, Aragorn. Now, this is a scene that they deleted from the theatrical version, and I will die on this hill. Of all the things they cut, this they should not have cut, and it only took a few seconds. So I'm like, "Jerks, you could have done this." But this is Arwen's rather famous starry mantle, yeah, that in the book, in The Steward and the King, uh, she was cold and, Faramir's so perfect that he sent for his mother's cloak. So this is actually a cloak that belonged to his mother that he gave to her. It's like, "Oh, so romantic." It's like, "Oh, you're cold. Let me give you this Coke." By the way, it's my mother's, but, no, it's the blue and the fringe and all that. It's not quite entirely how I imagined it, but at least they tried to do the starry mantle, with all the little stars. Speaking of
Mhm.
Gondor, she's in Gondor, so she's wearing Gondorian clothing, but, yes. So did you know that about the dress? Or the cloak, that was his mother's? It's okay if you didn't. You will now be remember it forever about how that makes him so perfect.
I vaguely remember reading that part.
Yeah.
It's been so long ago. I need to do a reread of the stories anyway. It's about time because sometimes there's some people can read them like every month. For
Uh-huh.
me, I like to be able to read different types of books, and then it's like, oh, I need to do a rotation now. So it's been a couple years, so I need to remember that scene. But I vaguely remember it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I might have read this chapter more than any other chapter in the book too, so that doesn't.
You?
Oh, yeah. Um, and she's wearing the same white, and he even would call her the White Lady of Rohan.
Oh,
Faramir would, yes, white.
yeah.
And high-necked, she's wearing this when she wakes up in the extended scene, you see her wearing it, and then she's got the cloak over it. So there is a beautiful starry mantle. We love it. Amanda Pizzolato says, "There are a lot of things I wanted to keep in the Return of the King, like showing us they're married." Oh gosh, don't get me started. And you're gonna see that. Yeah, that they did film their wedding and they cut that. And I'm like, "You assholes." Pardon my French, but man, really? And they also had a scene where they showed you Gimli and Legolas going off on their adventures, but those, yeah, I know. I understand that time was of great importance, but I'm still of the opinion they could have done like a very quick, like, what do you call it? I'm gonna say collage, but that's not the word. But you know how they do that in
Kind
movies
of
where
like
it's like,
like when the credits are rolling, have some,
yeah,
like, scene running in the background of them getting married. You don't have to have dialogue or anything. It's just looks in the
mm,
scene. Yeah.
exactly. They should have kept that in, and they should have kept the houses of healing scenes in. 'Cause even my mother at the time was like, "What the hell happened to Awen and all them?" 'Cause, they were all, like, dead on the field, and then next thing you know, they're fine at the coronation, and it's like, yeah, I think that they should have found the time in the movie for that. 'Cause especially when they added a lot of filler in the Return of the King, even the theatrical version, I was really kind of frustrated, but at least we have the extended edition where everything, was, you know, um, relatively helped. They could still give us those scenes, not like we complain about getting more. Darn right. I mean, they don't even have to finish them. I would pay money if he would just release them in like a really crappy YouTube video. I would pay money to see that, to get access to see the things that they filmed that they did not. But yeah, this is and a very important sequence for Eowyn as she's healing. Well, and Faramir has to heal too because he has issues with his dad. His dad tried to set him on fire, and the fact that they met in the House of the Healing and they healed together, I think that's a very and they finally realized they're perfect for each other. Yay!
Yep.
And here is
I guess
pos- uh, sorry.
the full body probably costume of or the look of it.
Yeah, this could be a cosplay, but
Mhm.
you see that there. It's very nice. Very nice stuff. See, oh, whoops!
Oh,
Here they are at the coronation. Woo! And yes, our man makes a cameo here. But this is a coronation dress that Eowyn is wearing. She's also wearing a gold circlet. She is wearing gold. She's royalty. Her brother is now the king, and she looks like a very happy one. She's like, man, I'm going to be the queen, or not the queen, rather. That's the whole line. I do not want to be a queen. And he's like, that's fine, because I am not I am not a king. And they're going to go off to Ithilien. She's going to be the princess. And she's got, again, that same thing with the scoop. It
Mhm.
looks like gloves almost she's wearing there, because this goes halfway up around her hands.
That's also I think that's also more authentic. Well, that might be more closer towards Renaissance, early Renaissance. I know that can be they could wear sleeves like that and still have those extra scoop sleeves, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm not sure if this is a cloak or if this is part of the dress, but either way, yay,
I
gorgeous.
know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And shout out to, my man here. You can see that he is like Aragorn, but the same but different, and wearing these blues. And he's got the armor action here, as well as this. I want to call it the skirt. I know it's not a skirt. And he's got a cloaky thing kind of here pinned over him as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. We'll probably have to do a sequel with all the men. It is Hound 3000. Needs some hugs. Woof, woof, woof. Miss Martin muses and everyone. Hello. Woof to you as
Hello.
too. Now, this is from the museum, so you get a little more detail here of both their costumes. And oh yeah, and
Definitely more gold. Definitely more gold. Yep.
yeah, and he's got a little crowny thing on as well. Yeah, look at the lovely detail. 2 thumbs up on the lovely necklace she's wearing and all that. And I think I have a behind the scenes one. Yeah, here's the behind the scenes where she's showing it off. Okay, yeah, that is a cloak thing that's over it, because this is the dress without it.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, you can tell. I mean, that they would have to just love it. And like, look at me, I'm all pretty, I'm all dressed up and
All
ready to go.
feminine. Oh, I
Yeah,
know.
ready to go to the coronation. Oh dear, I'm a princess. All right, here is the wedding scene that they never filmed, but this is the only picture we have of it. This is from Miranda Otto's Instagram. So I'm not sure I'm crazy about the coloring on Faramir stuff, but this could be a situation of the coloring is off, that it would be darker. Because I mean, you don't really see the Gondorian people wearing this light blue. I I feel like his thing here, the way it is, it looks like it's a dressing gown. So
Well, and it could be, I don't even know, was it a scene that was actually cut, or was it like the finished product scene that was actually cut? Because who knows what kind of scene this maybe, I don't know, maybe and you
well,
know
we
what?
know that
The
they
the the
filmed it.
pictures the pictures back then, I mean, they weren't we didn't have cell phones or
Mhm.
anything, like that, so, the camera could be not that great either when it was taken.
Well,
So
certainly, yes. I don't think it was even cut into the film like some of the stuff was. I think it was filmed, and this obviously is a behind the scene. And she was really cute. She's like, "Oh, look at me and my husband on our wedding day," and he is the Prince of Ithilien, and so he has a crown similar to Aragorn's, but not as awesome, which makes complete sense since he is a prince
mhm.
of the realm and not that, and has the undersleeves and the oversleeves. Now, her wedding dress is gorgeous. You can kind of see how, I don't know if those are little pearls that are sewn into the dress or what it is, but it just looks like it just sparkles. And she also has that where the gloves are kind of coming up over her hands, or not gloves, but some sort of
Yeah.
material, but just, really lovely little wedding dress. And we don't even know if this is complete because she might have been wearing a veil or having something in her hair, but this is just what they filmed and decided to take a picture. So, what we could have had, those bastards, but at least we've got this shot. I remember being so excited when we finally got to see it because we knew it was filmed. We just didn't see it. So, two
Aw.
thumbs up. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love the fact that it's, the like, the shimmering whatever pearls, diamonds, whatever is
Mhm.
on there, and then the satin layers underneath.
Mhm.
It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and the costume designer said this was, like, her favorite dress to make, and so I think it really hurt when it didn't make the cut. Because it probably did, and I would just have loved to have seen this in some sort of finished scene because 'cause I'm sure that it just looks spectacular. Um,
Right.
but, oh well. And is that it? That is it! That's it,
Woo!
or that's all I put together. I mean, the fact that I even had to cut a lot of things, like, I didn't get to everything, that just shows you how extensive these were, and these weren't even really the main characters from the show, and look at the costumes that they had.
Yep. I mean, it seemed like there was a new costume every time we saw these characters on
Yeah.
screen, and they weren't even, you know, they didn't have a whole lot of time in the movies themselves. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, that I mean, awesome. I mean, yeah, the costume department, they deserved they
Every
deserved all
accolade.
the Oscars. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I it's just, oh, it's just so gorgeous, and it just makes you wanna dress up, and I remember they had official replica jewelry available. Like, I know a lot of people own the Even Star, and I've had, you can get, like, the earrings and the necklaces, and, um I had an official replica of the fellowship pin, the little leafy thing that
Mhm.
they all wore, so it was good times, and the rings, I still have my replica, yeah, the replica rings. I have the One Ring, I have Nenya, I have the, I have a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings stuff. I have Sting. I have a miniature Sting, not a real one, because the real Sting is like $300 and it's huge. I got like a letter opener Sting. So I forget who it was. It was like the Noble collection. It used to always be on the airplane, and I used to always just look through. They were the same ones that did Harry Potter stuff. So I just remember seeing a lot of that replica. It's just so good. Oh, yeah.
I have a replica Even Star,
Mhm.
but I was way too young for a lot of the replica stuff, and
Mm.
some of them were kind of expensive. So, like,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why
back
I,
in the day. So,
yeah,
trying to ask my mom and dad, "Mom and dad, can I have this for Christmas?" And it's
yeah.
like,
Well, I should say that my One Ring and all that, I got the plastic versions. I didn't get, like, the ones that were,
oh
like,
gosh, not the
gold, solid
yeah.
gold. Oh, so much fun, and this makes me wanna go dress up. I wanna get out of my medieval clothes. It's so much fun. Go to a Ren fair. See, that's where you could wear these and show off.
I I haven't been to a Ren fair in so long, and honestly, this makes me wanna dress up too,
Yeah.
so I get it.
Yeah, or just dress up and hang out in my living room. It's like, let's just dress up as, Lord of the Rings. That would be awesome. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, wow. And before we go into our outros, is there anything else that you wanted to say about any of the costumes, especially that we haven't had a chance to talk about?
I will say this, like, we could do maybe, how about we could do, like, a rating, not necessarily a rating, like, if the of the 3 women
Mhm.
of the
Oh,
of the 3 women of the with all of their costumes, which of the 3 women do you feel had the best that worked well within the aesthetic of the spaces that, the locations, as well as the practical and as well as what made what makes sense. What do you think is personally who's your favorite of those characters that they did?
Wow. Well, because I changed my answer as you were speaking, because you said then it would practically fit in with it. Because I'd say it would have to be Eowyn. Eowyn definitely was, but she was also a human. But if I were to tell you the costumes I like the best and I think they're the most beautiful and all that, it would be Arwen. And Arwen stuff was just to die for.
I'm right there with you. Personally, if I had to choose, like if I really wanted to choose which one I wanted to cosplay the most,
Mhm.
it would definitely be Eowyn. Um,
Mhm.
because it definitely, I wouldn't say feels relatable because I think relatability is, overused too much these days, but I think
Mhm.
back then it works because you don't you can feel like you can be her while you're wearing that
Yeah.
outfit that she's wearing.
Yeah, because she's a human. We're humans. Yeah. We're
Exactly.
not elves.
Not elves. But Arwen definitely, I think, has the most beautiful of them all. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Hound says, "Would be nice to have a dance event so that both of you could dress up and attend." Yeah. Well,
Oh,
well,
I
maybe
would love
they'll
to.
yeah. Well, Halloween's coming up. Maybe that's also where you can get away with this. That would definitely be something. Um, but yeah. Oh my gosh, so nice. And I know I keep comparing it to the Rings of Prime, but this compared to the Rings of Prime where people were joking it looks like Party City, it's like, come on, people. It's like, really, you got this budget and you couldn't get these dresses, and showing you that you can have things like we saw with Eowyn and even the Arwen stuff that from Helm's Deep, which was an abomination from because she wasn't supposed to be there. But even that costume, it's like, yeah, you can do it. If you just,
Yep.
it's like you had one job. You had one job, and they definitely did this well. And even the Hobbit movies, which definitely had a lot to they had a lot of issues, they did pretty good with the aesthetics, I thought, in the Hobbit
They
movies.
they still had the the TLC
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
It wasn't too far removed from the 3 movies that they did earlier in the decade itself. So, I think that's it. I mean, but this is like a different production team for Amazon's version, and it's so
Mhm.
far removed from the other movies. It just seems so off. But
Yeah.
yes, I think that with especially when you see the behind the scenes documentaries of the costuming and even the weaponry and everything else, the amount of effort and detail that they put into making it look as real and as lived in as possible is
Mhm.
just amazing, especially with the costuming. Because the costuming that think about this, the costuming, especially in this world, like there's travelers, you're on the run, you're having to run to Helm's Deep, all these other situations. You had to not only think of it as how do you make it as whimsical and as uh, into looking like this would what Tolkien would want, and also make it practical and feel like you are immersed in this world. And that's incredible creativity to be able to work with. And that crew did it. That they did
Mhm.
it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh gosh, so well, so cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that on all that. So, what do you have happening going on? What do you have happening? Tell us the story of your life, your online life. You don't need to get into all those other details, but what do you have going on?
Well, right now I am on Twitter. Well, I'm breaking it for you, Teresa. But no, it's because we've already had this planned, and this is something that is relaxing and something fun to talk about and what have you. But I have no plans coming up right now. I am on a X, Twitter, Kick, Twitch, whatever. I don't know, basically a social media break. So
Mhm.
I am taking off our time away from it all because it is definitely madness, and I highly recommend doing it. And at least I'm working on things in the background, trying to fix some of my tech issues
Mhm.
in the meantime. Speaking of which, I come in
Yeah.
and my headset and my mic decided to no longer work because my browser decided to refuse them. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, working on those things. It's just small little details here and there, and I should be coming out with a schedule sometime soon, but I do believe something is going on next week that I may need to pay attention to, so it may be a little bit more of a break. But
Mhm.
yeah, nothing else really right now. I am working on things in the background as per usual. Sometimes you don't see it right away, but there are definitely things that I'm working on. So
Okay, yeah, and Soul Assassin, I know, put a lot of the links there in the chat, so, yeah,
thank you, Soul
everyone go
Assassin.
and do that, yeah, and, I've said this before, but I'll put this out here that, yeah, I started a separate, channel, here it is, like, for Catholic splaining, and so I moved my Catholic content over there, so if anyone wants to check out that content, here is the link, and then I'm gonna be continuing with the well, any musings that pop into my head. I don't have anything specific planned. Oh, check that. The Tombstone review, a lot of people like that, and we talked about on the stream about doing it maybe monthly with Steeg, and so we did decide that our next movie that we're going to review that I haven't seen, so it's the first time watch for me, is The Outlaw Josie Wales. So if you enjoyed the Tombstone stream in September, and make sure the bell is on because I don't know when in September it's going to be. It depends on my schedule. It depends on Steve's schedule, but it will definitely be in September, and it will be The Outlaw Josie Wales. And then any other musings as they pop into my head. And yes, well, Ringus Dingus, thank you for being here. And yes, definitely, let me go through my thank yous. We have Hound 3000, Ringus Dingus, Steve Kenobi, Jacob Ironside, Amanda Pizzolato. We had a thank you for the super sticker from Salty Traveling Sea. Thank you. Comic Sense, Soul Assassin, Adega Outlaw. And if I missed anyone, it's not personal. Sometimes it jumps around and goes everywhere. I think I got everyone. And like I said, if I didn't, my definite apologies. I'm going to be continuing reading The Wheel of Time. I'm now on book 11. I have passed Nordporial, and we're not sure when we're going to do the next one, but again, if you've been enjoying our reviews of The Wheel of Time as I've been going through them, the books, not the TV show, please go ahead and stay tuned for that as well.
All
So,
right.
woo, yeah, good
Woohoo!
times. Yeah.
Good
All right.
times.
So, and if you haven't already, I'm sure everyone has, watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy or read the books or reread them. Maybe this is a good time to revisit. I think that it's definitely something because you can never go wrong with J.R. Tolkien. He is
This
the king of fantasy.
use this stream as a good reminder to maybe reread them again.
Yes, it makes me want to actually reread them. Once I'm committed to only reading The Wheel of Time as far as fiction and snail mail stuff, not snail mail, whatever you call it when you have a book. Yeah, because I'm still doing on Audible my history thing, so that's why you might see that there. So I'm not cheating. I'm still sticking only with The Wheel of Time. But once I finish The Wheel of Time, then I will go back and read some fantasy. I might do a reread because
Mhm.
it's definitely good for the soul. And as I always tell people, what was it that Tom Shippey said? He said something to the effect of in the Author of the Century that Tolkien was not like the only fantasy author. He wasn't like the inventor of the fantasy novel, if you will, but he was definitely the one that showed us what could be done with it and raised it up to like great literature. It was just his accomplishment is unsurpassed, and
He
we
made
love
it almost like, what do you call it? Lord of the Rings is
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, it's considered an epic. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people consider it as part of, like, the echelons of, like, the Odyssey and the Iliad. It's very epic.
Yes.
It's very epic based, and it's definitely elevated. It's like high fantasy.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
definitely
definitely.
yeah, it definitely elevated that aspect of literature. But thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, chat, and
Well,
can't wait
thank you
for the
for being here.
next
Woo! Yeah,
part
yeah. We
two if
get
we're gonna do
maybe
that.
we'll yeah, maybe it'll be the man, or if something else passes our fantasy. But yes, thank you, Magitek Megs, for being here, and to everyone. So have a great day. I want to have a great day, and be certain to go visit Middle Earth as often as you can.
Mm.